again, if I'm going to point back to Orianna and Syndra, Orianna obviously notably stronger in the matchup there, but can still be caught out by a bubble paddle star combo, and all of a sudden your laning phase is chalked. So definitely worthwhile on a ban, I feel, and we'll have to see what the rest of these bans are looking like as we do not head into the pro draft once again.
Yep, rocking the pro draft at the bottom of your screen, and these are looking pretty familiar. The only one that I think is unique in terms of bans is that Kha'Zix, taking that away from Lotus, which is something that I strongly agree, if this was a poll, that you cannot be given that jungler Kha'Zix because he looked like a wrecking ball. Meanwhile, all right, already getting the Seraphine up in this action. Kai'Sa the first pick, of course, and the Misfortune, one of the most brutal early game AD carries in the game with a Seraphine at the helm. I'm already feeling that energy start to spike, man.
Yeah, and I touched on the Seraphine at the end of last series, with it being more of a mid lane pick as we had seen previously in the Risen Championship Series. I think it's really strong with the Misfortune bot, though, because Misfortune can do a lot to really capitalize on immobile targets, whether it's with a bullet time or a double up, make it rain, all of those things coming together to become a really dangerous threat. And it seems Lotus have gone all in on that being the support Seraphine. They've gone with the Blitzcrank, they got the shield break, they got the rocket grab, and just they want to frag out. They want to pick up these kills. They want to get ahead early, and they're looking to do so. They even followed up with a Lee Sin. They're just looking to make this a bloodbath. VBO, though, going for that Grimstone Nidalee. I told you you're going to see it again, and VBO are making sure you have to watch it. So definitely send them all your hate mail.
Hey, you feel free to, but I personally really enjoy watching it run around the rift. But oh my goodness, does Lotus have a hype composition so far? Don't exactly know the specifics of everything. We're still gonna have to get our solo laners before we can get a real concept of exactly what type of scrapping comp they want to aim for. VBO, on the other hand, they have so many projectiles on that comp with the Seraphine, with the Nidalee, and I kind of just want to watch Lotus play dodgeball for about 40 minutes, get some more poke in there, and let's see the magic happen. Syndra Yone banned away, Aurelion Sol, Shin knocked off for Lotus as we are in our final draft phase.
Yeah, and you're mentioning all these projectiles coming in from VBO. So far, Lotus also have a trio of just deadly projectiles. The Void Missile, the Blitzcrank Hook, the Resonating Strike. Like, any single one of these can really start to spiral out of control really quickly. VBO are going to get that Galio once again. Counter pick coming in from Lotus. This time it is going to be the Twisted Fate, looking to answer the call every single time that hero's entrance gets popped.
Yeah, and playing Twisted Fate into Galio is a really curious matchup because, in all honesty, the Twisted Fate's not really here to make the play. He's here to react to the play. If you're Twisted Fate and you Destiny in, and then the Galio falls on top of you, that's very unideal. Really, it's meant for following that Galio around the map whenever he's trying to make plays, because then you can kind of get the counter attack. The issue that I'm seeing with that is you don't really, outside of the Jax, if they do go with Jax, which would be awesome, but look at that bottom lane. How are they ever going to live long enough once the Galio ult hits for the Twisted Fate to come in hot? Now, the Jax on the top side, I think he's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, that is VBO leaning so far in to the skill gap there. They think they have the better top laner, and they're looking to prove it here in game number 2. They take a losing trade in the game 1 by having that Mordekaiser blind pick that gets countered to now giving themselves that counter pick and just ramming it in there with the Jax. And both teams have such an interesting team composition. This time, though, I am going to give the edge to VBO. I think they have better advantages pretty much in every stage, right? They have the better split pusher, in my opinion. They have the better team fight, in my opinion. And they don't have better pick. I'll give them that. I'll give Lotus the pick composition because you look at that squad and you're just like, all right, they got Gold Card, Blitzcrank Hook. They have Resonating Strike. They have Gangplank. Like, they just want to find people without the buddy system. You just want to pick off the stragglers, find them in a deep, dark, dirty alleyway. That's the word I was looking for. And just take them behind the dumpster, mug them for everything they're worth, and go ahead and send back to base 300 gold richer. They do not care for team fighting. They do not care for the split push. They just want to murk people unawares.
You know, I was actually on team VBO here for Better Comp until you kind of spieled all that off, and now I actually think I'm on the Lotus side of things. It's really not that difficult to set any of those things up, and even if you are using the buddy system, you know, you have 3 people who are just waiting to get demolished. If a Lee Sin kick connects, gets insect back into anybody except for maybe Blitzcrank, who will hold them there for quite a while. They're gone. If the Blitz can hook someone, they're gone. It Twisted Fate even just builds a rapid fire, stuns up the Misfortune, the Seraphine, or the Nidalee. They're probably not going to be alive long enough for a Jax or a Galio coming in to really make a difference. The only way I can see VBO popping off right now is through that split push on the Jax, and just having an insane combo with the team fights.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at VBO, their tankiest member is going to be the Jax inherently, just by the way they build. Galio has more of an AP route now, not full tank. Nidalee, very squishy. Misfortune, very squishy. Seraphine, very squishy. So
Yeah.
all it takes is one crowd control to connect, and all of a sudden everything gets a lot more difficult for VBO. And even if you think of the Blitzcrank hook being hard to land, if the resonating strike being hard to land, all you need to do is wait for the cannon barrage to come in first, give them that team-wide slow, and then you can basically pick whatever you want, like you're going pumpkin picking. Like, you just show up, you're like, the one with the pink, yep, bring it over here. And all of a sudden, you just let Kayata do whatever she wants. You come out ahead, you take the objective, and you just do that time and time again until you secure Baron, hopefully this time without dying, and then you just close out the game.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see this Lotus composition in action. VBO, they have a sick thing going. I really do dig with their plan here, and I am excited to see if that Seraphine charm can get layered on top of some of these other goodies rather, and throw that Misfortune ultimate on top of it. Why don't you just get a Jackson, frag him in the middle of it, to use your term, and jump a Galio as well? I mean, just send all the forces, and it almost feels like you have 2 trains chugging along, and they're both on the same track headed right towards each other. And we're playing chicken in a way, like just seeing who decides to veer off first. And with the composition Lotus has, I think they're coming in for blood.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely Mad Maxed their train a little bit. And there's just everything kind of in their favor. VBO, though, they've put a lot of eggs into the Jax basket, and Seraphine, I think, is an interesting pick because I'm going to be honest, I actually don't know if it even is support. We keep talking about it like it's going to be the Galio mid Seraphine support, but there is a Galaxy, in which case those two just flip-flop, and we get the Seraphine mid into the Galio support, and I think that, in a way, might actually be better. I would need to see the game actually play out, but having seen Seraphine mid previously and having being such a standout pick in my eyes, I think that you might actually get more out of your bottom lane by giving them that tanky crowd control support into the Blitzcrank. And you can, in the after game chat, if you come out victorious, you can be like, yeah, no, that was so big brained. We picked Seraphine and then countered with Blitzcrank. What idiots! We just picked Galio and completely ruined their team comp. So that could happen. We're probably going to see it in just a second as we do see the game draft coming in underneath our faces. And I'm curious what it is going to actually get locked in, because high risk, high reward. You got to coin flip sometimes.
That is very true. I think that the one thing I will look at if they do decide to put the Galio in the support role is that really opens up Twisted Fate. to go do whatever he wants on the top side of the map, and you don't want that gangplank getting out ahead. I mean, Crooked Serpent had an insane performance last game. He completely just sliced and diced and crack shotted all of the enemy team, and that was unfortunately not the only win condition, but that was one of the big ones that they kind of did come through on. So I prefer seeing the Galio in the mid lane, at least in this scenario. While the Seraphine's definitely in a lot more danger, I think that it does tamper that Twisted Fate's aggression.
Yeah, and with the lock-ins, that does appear to be the game plan. So we'll have to see if they can stay alive. There's a lot on the line here. You know, it's the first series of the game. You're going up a team you've already beaten, and it's currently 1-0, not in your favor. At best, you walk away with a draw here and only find yourself a point. Whereas it's all up to Lotus. They can take the victory here, claim those 3 season points, and come out with a really strong start and really set the pace for really the league as a whole, right? You see the 2 reigning champion teams, and I say champion by meaning they both went to the championship. If those 2 teams are already duking it out and the underdog is coming out ahead, what does that mean for the rest of the teams? Is there actually going to be a race for the top? Or is it Lotus coming in new and improved and looking to be the top dog?
Yeah, no, this could definitely take the dice and chuck them up in the air, and I'm so hyped to watch this. I'm gonna throw something else down on it. All right, I love doing bets. They're basically what I live for at this stage in my Corona life. So, looking at Lotus, I am predicting them to win, and if they do lose, I will go ahead and I am going to deck out in goth makeup. I'm going hardcore. I've done it before. I'll do it again. And I am ready to rock and roll on this. Mr. Producer, if you'd be so kind to give them a quick little snapshot of what that looks like, I'd be honored. But in the meantime, I do think we are about to go ahead and throw it to a
hold up. Before we go to break.
break.
Before we go to break. So if you're in Twitch chat, take a look at the prediction. What we're seeing right now is 83% of chat is voting for Lotus to win in game number 2. And now I want to point you guys can't see it now, but back to game number 1, it was 90 something percent for Vlad banners only to win, and yours truly bet 1k channel points on the Lotus victory. So come on now. It's just a caster diff. Now we can send it to break.
All right, we'll see you guys in just a moment. Casters, take this away, and Lotus, spare me from looking like the prettiest girl at the Gothic ball.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn.
The jungle there, Red Ward, that looks like it just timed out from the early setup in the game, but keep an eye on Lee Sin. He'll be the more likely jungler to gank early on in the game, more set up to be that ganking jungler. Nidalee probably going to head for a Moonstone Renewer build. We've talked about it on the analyst desk a couple times. It's, oh my, Crooked.
Ooh. Crooked has to flash. Blitzcrank fishing here, finds the hook. And while you might not have heard us at the start of this game, hear my voice now because Kiwi is ready to play the game, ladies and gentlemen. First hook forces a flash. Crooked Serpent on the other end of the game will have to flash as well. So off to an aggressive start for both these teams. Summoner's Burn.
Pretty aggressive start. Good stuff coming in from the Jax. You love to see this from Stingus. This will be a large part of Vlad's win condition in this game. Will be an absolute menace in the side lane as it progresses. So want to try to stay as ahead as you can. As another hook land.
Oh man, the second hook in. Doesn't have the damage though. Exhaust going to go down onto Alistair, so all their damage isn't piling through. They won't be able to find a re-engage either. Blitzcrank very linear in his ability to use any CC, but uh-oh, what is this? We're gonna get a Fiesta nice and early into this one. Look at this. The lane gank is being set up here. 9K sitting in a brush, but in comes Jimmy. It's gonna be a 3-on-3. The root connects with a slow. Hook doesn't. Rocket grab won't be available. The resonating strike. Ego takes it back in. The safeguard to safety. Spear won't connect. TP was committed, I believe, but it may have been canceled. Prophet couldn't get there.
Yeah, actually that one canceled in the mid lane by JVL, and I think it's a fortunate thing for Prophet as he was certainly not going to get anything done with that teleport, so actually just gets to stay in lane. One of the few times I think I've ever seen a TP cancel be a good thing for the person who had it canceled.
Yeah, not all too common that you could say, oh wow, I'm really glad my teleport didn't go through there. But it would have found nothing regardless. If anything, it would have been a turnaround. They had a good re-engage angle. Maybe not without the Blitzcrank hook, but certainly gonna want to sit in lane and grab that farm. A little bit of damage. Gonna go down onto JVL as well. But as we get a little bit of a lull now, we can talk about how these team comps had come together. We know how that happened earlier on in the draft. You can hear Doc and Juicebox Guy's thoughts, and at the end of the night, at the end of the desk at least for them, they both agreed Lotus had an advantage coming into this one. I'm curious if you agree or you're going to take the odd man out in this one, DJ.
I kind of take the odd man out slightly. I think it'll be a bit execution based because I think the timer, as opposed to game number 1, is actually against Lotus in this case. Kai'Sa will get strong, Gangplank will get strong, but they don't have as many tanky champions in the way this time. The Twisted Fate will lose priority as the game goes on unless he can get strong. So it's more on the side of Lotus to make those side lane plays, and I think their draft is better to do it certainly than Vlad's was in game number 1. Twisted Fate, in my opinion, just a vastly superior version of Aurelion Sol, basically. As this hook not quite going to land, but I do really like the Jax pick that was taken at the end of the draft for Vlad. I don't think there are a lot of answers to this pick for the likes of Lotus as this game progresses. So the longer it goes on, the more and more this game becomes in the hands of Stingus, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. That Jax is always going to be a huge threat. You could say the same thing about a critical barrel chain. Crooked obviously doing a lot. They were popping off with some of those huge kills, had a lot of gold in pocket last time, but this time around it's going to be a little more difficult. You're going up against a huge team fight composition in the likes of Encore into bullet time. You can bring Prophet over the top if you send Stingus on a flank. So there's a lot of threats that Lotus need to be wary of, and I'm going to go ahead and agree with you, DJ. I think we're going to go casters versus analysts here. Well, I do have my money bet on Lotus. I still think they can skill check at any point they'd like. I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say the VBO have got a draft advantage on this one.
Yeah, the one thing that will be interesting as this game does progress when Stingus wants to get out in a side lane is this is a good pick comp in for Lotus. You have that Twisted Fate. The Kaisa, once she gets that level 2 ultimate, will be able to fly in from, you know, almost seemingly half the map away. And you do have the Gangplank ult to help out, of course, but I do think the Jax can get to a point where sort of all of that can become nullified, and by the time all the resources are used, a team fight can follow that. It's just too difficult for Lotus to win. But we will see, and I really want to keep my eyes on Ego to try to take advantage of the pick that he's selected for himself more than anyone. Oh boy, hold on.
And Barrage comes down. The Galio ult is here to follow, but Crooked Serpent has already found a solo kill. JVL is here with the Destiny. But here come the junglers. 9k Ego. Where's the kick? It doesn't matter. Jimmy gets a good flash, and the kick may connect now. He's only level 5. He doesn't even have 6. It doesn't matter. The Lee Sin isn't available. JVL forced to flash over the wall, and the spear in the heart of Ego, and a double taunt to follow. It is an excellent play by Prophet. They're going to go into the turn. Stingus is TP back, and they'll get JVL. VBO find themselves a huge big kill.
That is massive for the likes of VVO, and it all starts kind of poorly, actually, as really nice 1v1 coming in from Crooked Serpent. Gets it right with the ultimate and the last Q to take down Stingus. We'll actually hold on here as the Blitzcrank gets stopped. We'll take a look at the replay. We can walk through this one. Here it does come. Bot lane does push out. Let's take a look at it here. So this is the 1v1 in top lane. The taunt goes out as a hook is landing in bot lane as we speak, but it looks like that one may not... is going to be a bit of an all-in here in the bot lane in our picture. We'll just walk away, so we'll finish the... Look at the timing there.
Unlucky there on the timing of the Blitzcrank Cook. I really think that they got to be watching the stream every time that we go into a replay. Both these teams look at fight, but Crooked just flashes forward. We're gonna have to quickly look at the bot lane. A Cathian Rain finds Gates, but Stingus trades it back across the map, and they'll find the GP. Crooked off to not a great start this time, but Gates is hooked in by that Blitzcrank, and it sentenced to death. Not a Thresh Q, but a Blitzcrank Q does this misfortune in, and now they'll take the Drake. Alistair gonna push in this wave, apply a little bit of pressure, but a first dragon at 9 minutes.
First dragon at 9 minutes, and that will be a very happy sight for the likes of Lotus. Again, this Lee Sin, very early game ganking champion, needs to stack up those Drakes, needs to stack up advantages to be relevant as the game progresses. We'll always have that kick for some CC and team fights, but he's just a better champion doing this kind of stuff in mid game. He's gonna go down.
Yeah, and Prophet is going to pick up an easy kill there onto Ego. Not sure if he didn't have the safeguard over the wall, but Kiwi just barely getting over the wall in time with that Hex Splash. So just in the nick of time, going to be able to save the Blitzcrank. And this has not started off the way that Lotus may have liked. Again, we were talking about they are the team that has the scaling advantage, that dirty, dirty S word as the time goes on. But this is what you want for your team fight composition. Get the gold lead early, get ahead, and bring that power to the mid-game team fights.
Yeah, definitely bring that power. You can see some strong members already cropping up for VBO. 2-0-2 is this Galio, who will be so critical to any sort of efforts to go side lane or shut down side lane pressure. He has been influential on the map already. Really, the main reason they won that top skirmish earlier along with the jungler and the top laner here. That Jax win condition we talked about, almost 20 CS up on his counterpart with 2 kills, working towards either the Divine Sunder or that Trinity Force. Now engaged in mid lane.
Ooh, JBL is caught out, and it's a good roam by everyone here. They bring the jungler, they bring the support, and Gale Force, it's only an Iron Spike Whip actually. They force the Galio ultimate, that's a long cooldown out of Prophet, but it's a free pick, and they extend this to 2-6.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here from the likes of EBO. We saw Kiwiism making the roams last game. This time around, it's Walnut heading up into the mid lane. Ton of CC comes out courtesy of the setup from the Galio. They take down the Twisted Fate, and then that Galio gets Jimmy out to safety as Ego shows up just a little too late to get a cleanup kill.
And I've got too many points bet on this game for Lotus to lose this one, so I may have to go Goth after this one. I'm going to lose some sleep if Lotus can't pull this one through regardless, but certainly a great start here for VBO. They've got this Galio ahead. They have a couple kills on their carry, and Jackson maybe you're going to look for the play. TP's going to come in, a good encore, only finds one though. Kiwi going to go down. Prophet is here. Jimmy finds Ego, and absolutely right, DJ. Everywhere that fights are breaking out, VBO are winning.
Beautiful stuff here from VBO, winning on both sides of the map simultaneously. That's something you should really never hear, and against the Twisted Fate of all people, but I think they sort of bait JVL in there. They see the Twisted Fate ult get popped, and they bait it in with a TP from Prophet, following up, picking up that kill. Meanwhile, in top side, the jungle top combination gets the kill themselves, with a single looks to be in some trouble.
Oh, hook is in, and Ego's here to follow, and she has no flash. Alistair, easy kill. TP in from JBL as well. Is there a follow-up on this one? Void Seeker came out from Alistair, but it didn't connect, so they won't be able to find Gates for now. They're still going to go looking for this one. To make it rain comes down. There's the flash, resonating strike. Iron Spike Whip does enough, and Ego, fancy feed on the Lee Sin.
Very nicely done there for Ego. I pick up a replay from one of the earlier. Here we go. We'll take a look at this play in the bottom lane again. I think they're baiting in the ultimate from the TF. You can see Blitzcrank going a little bit too early. The TF shows up, but the teleport comes in, nullifying everything. They easily clean up that Blitzcrank kill in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, they are winning out on top side as well. Last couple minutes, so have been a bit of a good turnaround. Lotus, they picked off Walnut and then got that last kill as well. So trying to get the gold lead a little bit lessened, but they are still down about 2.5k gold here. But Walnut going to be in trouble again.
Oh, this is excellently played around Vision, and they set that one up and they played it like an absolute mastermind. Kiwi, good play, and oh, Ego's gonna get aggressive on the Gates here. Not sure that he has enough damage without the kick. The Conqueror's proc. Iron Spike Whip gonna come down. One more Q, and it's sidestepped by Gates. Saves his life there with a hot feet from Misfortune. But regardless, they still find the Seraphine Walnut dead once again.
Yeah, really getting run around here is the bottom lane for VBO. Just getting out there from Misfortune. The second time around was caught out by that flash Q the last time, gonna dodge away from it this time, but they've been pushed away from their turret twice now, and no response really on the top side for VBO. So good answers here from Lotus. They have closed the gold gap, and they may be taking this bottom turret.
Yeah, they may be taking the bottom turret, but look at Prophet. He's made his way down into the river. Without any ability for Galio to join the fight from long distance, they call that one off. We're gonna see a 1v1 to the top side, and thing is, just wins that one. It wasn't even close. Crooked Serpent, they don't have time to flash, so thing is just easy pickup on the kill, and JBL will be left to his own resources as this top laner has not been an available option to get that Destiny in. And with it up now, they look to make a play. Prophet is here first, surrounding the Drake. Kiwi and Alistair moving as well.
Yeah, and it looks like trying to set up around that Drake, but maybe a little afraid to take it. I'm a little surprised. I think could potentially commit to that one. I don't really know if they want to teleport Stingus in here, so he can continue to put pressure in the top side. You look at that lead. It's almost 30 CS for the Jackson. It was already going to be hard for the likes of the Gangplank as the game went on, even if he wasn't behind to hold down this Jax. But at this point, it's practically impossible already with that Trinity Force and the plated steel caps in the inventory working his way towards a Blade of the Ruin King. The timer is ticking here, Necrox, and it's not looking good for Lotus.
It is not at all. The team fights are going to start being a huge factor here for VBO. Jax ready to make the play. However, you do have to note, only 3k down. It's not the end of the world for this squad. Any team fight that they land a critical hook, land a critical gold card, or find a huge barrel chain, it's an easy win at that point. I mean, they still have the tools in their toolkit to be able to make the play. Alistair sitting 2-0 now, has that Acathian Rain upgraded, so they have what they need to make the plays. It's all going to come down to execution in this deadly rematch. VBO fighting back fervently in game number 2.
Absolutely is the case. Still a very close game. One thing I want to talk about here is the itemization choices coming in from VBO. We've heard a lot about Moonstone Renewer, but we won't be seeing it, at least from the Nidalee. Looks like it may be being built on the Seraphine, be the reason why. But is an interesting choice, as I think you really do want at least one of those in the squad, considering this Jax's strength and how important he is to the win condition and to any teleport in team fights. You want to be able to enable him be as strong as possible. So I do think getting some sort of supportive item, either for the split pusher or for the misfortune in team fights, will be a good idea here for Vlad Banners. Let's take a look around the setup here in bottom side as Lee Sin's trying to sneak into the jungle. It's Control Ward that might spot him out, though.
Yeah, he's going to be spotted on the control ward. I'm not sure they can do this dive with TP from Sing is still available. Prophet going to have his available soon. And Ego should be able to get out of this one. Just messing around a little bit, see what else he can find. And he won't find very much except for a blast gun to his safety. So an attempt there. You can see Lotus looking for plays to get back into this one. You can see Kiwi as well. You can almost feel the mental state of Lotus right now, that they want to make a play. They're desperate to find something, and they may have found the Cougar out of position. Jimmy forced the flash. Won't get much else, but at least they take a summoner.
And Jimmy's been caught like this a couple times in this series. Really likes to try to get into the enemy jungle, but now, oh boy, Ego.
Oh, Ego, that's a lot of damage. Kick away from Prophet. Gets Elliot away.
This could turn into a fight.
Yeah, here we go. Kiwi is way far up right now, but Jimmy and Prophet don't want to go for that one, so they will back away from now, even with Ego low. Crooked Serpent, they are in some trouble once again. This 1v1 is just so bad at this point in the game. You can see the itemization is in for this. Jax has the Vamp Scepter, and in they go onto the tower. Jimmy's top 4. JVL is going to be in a lot of trouble. Rift Maker on both these champions, but he gets away, JVL! He escapes somehow.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there from JVL, getting that one completely right. Takes all of the damage, stopwatches at the perfect time to get away from both the Nidalee execution and the Galio, and now they're trying to get onto the Galio.
And now it's going to be turned around. Kiwi doesn't land the rocket grab, and will be forced to walk away with nothing. 2 TPs there. JVL and Singis both wanting to get in on the action. So everything will fizzle out for now. It's been a while since we've gotten a couple of kills here, DJ, but both of these teams are not relenting on their ability to fight. They're simply just not finding the angles. They're playing patiently. JVL with a good stopwatch under the turret there. Doesn't even have to burn his flash to get away from that one. Maybe 0-2 in the Twisted Fate, but certainly still ready to make a difference in this game.
Absolutely is. We'll not have that stopwatch available, and we have had a bit of a lull as there haven't been any objectives to play around, but that Drake going to be spawning here in just a minute. We'll see what the fight, or if there is one for that. I would imagine Lotus will really want this. Here's another hook.
Hook over the wall. Alistair jumps in with a Killer Instinct. Won't find a Void Seeker to follow, but forces the flash off of Walnut, but that's a critical cooldown that has been used. Alistair losing that ultimate, but more importantly, maybe Walnut, no flash. A big target to find if you can find the Seraphine early on in a team fight. All that CC, all that poke damage, all that healing can be taken away with a flashless carry. And now Kiwi knows that they're both in trouble, but no, just for now. It is on a flank. Here we go. It's good from Ego. And again, rescuing his teammate. Alistair maybe in a little trouble now. Dodges down the encore. The bullet time over the top finds Alistair. And they're going to find a shutdown on the Stingus. Crooked Serpent has arrived. And Jimmy trying to help Prophet get away from this one. The Galio is in trouble. In goes Ego. The taunt will connect onto 2. And good play from Prophet to turn it back around. But the Justice Punch is blocked. Shut down over to Serpent. They find a way back into the game. Jimmy is in trouble as well. Over the wall goes Serpent. Has trial by fire. The parlay is there as well. A couple more autos would do it. And Kiwi comes in with a knockup. And Lotus bring this one back. They'll take the dragon. And they'll take 4 members off Summoner's Rift.
That's actually a delayed ace there for the likes of Lotus. What a huge team fight from them. Necrox, I think you talked about it. The team fights were still close enough that it would come down to execution and just outfought for the likes of VBO. If we can get a replay, we'll take a look at it. But if not, we're talking a bit of an overextension from Stingus there, jumping in to try to finish off Alistair. So many shields and heals from the rest of his teammates that it takes too long. He takes too much damage from the turret, and they can re-engage on the rest of the fight. They hunt. Get that watch it here as he comes in on this flank angle. You can see already very low as Alistar thinks he can flash in for this one. The initial damage looks like it'll be enough, but look how long it takes. It takes the full Misfortune channel to get it. She gets tagged by the Lee Sin at the end of the fight. He's able to take her down with no damage remaining. They just get chased out through the jungle. Keep an eye on Kiwi as this replay extends. Plays so well around his low health bars with the knockups, with the hooks. He's going to just get out of this one with a shield as well. It's just beautiful stuff. Beautiful chase from the likes of Lotus. They get that delayed ace and their second Drake of the game.
Excellently done by Alistair as we return to live now. Staying alive as long as he could in the team fight. Thought maybe he died to that initial Jax jump and with that ultimate. But no, gets his way away with the Killer Instinct. And everyone playing perfectly there from Lotus. They turn it around and they make a play to get themselves dead even in this game, DJ. If you wanted a close game number 2, Lotus are delivering and VBO are happy with this game. Compared to game number 1, it certainly is much better for them. But both these teams, you can tell they're eager, chomping, waiting to find an angle to win this game out. It's all going to come down to these objective fights. And keep your eyes on the carries. Look at Alistair sitting on 2 items. Look at Serpent. They've got 2 items as well now. Everyone's starting to get strong. This is the point where things get dangerous and things get really dicey. As you can see, Blitzcrank, he runs pretty fast, but he doesn't find very much.
Not going to find anything there. Just trying to set up for any sort of pick. You mentioned the items coming through. There's 2 items on the MF as well. Almost 2 on the Jax. See that Lichbane just finished up for the Nidalee. So lots of strong members across the map. It's a very even game. As it looks like Ego will just dash away from there. Not a whole lot to fight over at the moment. That Baron still probably a little too strong for either of these teams to take without a huge team fight win. So we may see a bit of a lull as the split push continues here from Stingus.
And, oh, good hook from Kiwi. Just as I wanted to talk about how he's been performing this game, the charm is there, but the encore doesn't matter. Bullet time will take down Alistar. It's support for 80 carry, but they found Kiwi in the back end of the fight as well. Flash forward from Ego won't find Gates as he's forced to flash away as well. It's 2 for 1. Prophet's looking to make it more, but Crooked Serpent's on a deep TP. It might be a little too deep, but Ego's going to find a good resonating strike. Prophet doesn't have enough damage, but Jimmy has shut down the GP. And here they go. Ego's dead. The right shutdown is handed over to Gates as well, and they find 4. JVL couldn't find the angle for the TP, and this may be Baron, DJ.
Yeah, it looks like it will be Baron. They still have a jungler who's actually being a little bold here, trying to take JVL, and probably will.
JVL, last couple doesn't get him safety. Gold card stands up, rocket belt away. The spear doesn't connect. Hook into the base. But all this at what cost? Yes, you might get Jimmy. You may be able to take him out. You're going to lose JVL as well. Alistair doesn't find the Void Seeker. And the Acathian Rain finally comes in. And the Baron, it's going low. They don't have much HP, but Stingus has enough lifesteal and the shielding now from Sarah.
Even if they finish this.
Take Baron, but can they get away with the recalls? It's going to be close, but Kiwi doesn't opt to go into the pit. So VBO where Baron in game
huge fight win for them, and I kind of thought it was going to go that way when I saw the initial hook. There were too many members from VBO hanging around there. It took too long to kill the Seraphine, and the CC coming in from the Seraphine and Galio allowed that Misfortune ultimate to completely 100-0 Alistair. Without the Kaisa, it was so hard for them to win the fight. They're going to try to take down Stinkus here, but this might be tough.
in they go. Killer Instinct gonna find the mark. And Cannon Barrage on top means Stingus is so slow. Alistair flashes forward, but he flashes into the Encore. And Prophet has arrived. Walnut's gonna get Alistair, but Ego's low, has to get away. Not gonna be able to do it. The spear in the back of the hearts of Lotus fans, as it's a 2-for-1 trade. They lose out again on a play that they're trying to make, and VBO are bringing this one back. They had a lead early on, and they're gonna keep it as we crest 26 almost and a half minutes as they claim another dragon.
Yeah, their second Drake. They're going to try to make their use of the rest of this Baron. I do like the play coming out from Lotus, because even if you get the trade or lose out on the fight, you are wasting precious Baron time, but it is another lost fight, and we see 2 consecutive occasions overextending 4 picks just a little bit too much. They allow themselves to get funneled into that Misfortune ult, and everyone collapses on top of them. This time it's the Galio flanking. Last time it was that Jax, and now they find themselves in a pretty big hole here. 4K gold on 27 minutes. Again, not insurmountable, but this Jax continues to get stronger and stronger. You can see how hard it was for 3 members of Lotus to take him down. They didn't even finish him off, I think, until the very end of that fight.
And with a 2-0 start to this night, Lotus, if they win this, going to be a huge lead in the league. And here they go. Prophet is going to TP in immediately. Kicked away. Flash forward from the Galio. Where's the follow-up engage? JBL blast cones away to safety. But VBO are here, and they're looking, but it's Kiwi that's fishing, and Prophet goes over top. They trade 1-for-1, both junglers going down. A good hook from Kiwi, but it's not enough to make it a clean trade. They go 1-for-1, but Baron still in the hands of VBO. They're going to push these lanes.
That will be enough. It's great hook there by Kiwi to slow that pressure down. He hooks in Jimmy for the second time in a dangerous spot, this time without the Zonias available. Had used it at the outset of that play when JVL ultied in on top of him. So good stuff by the support of Lotus once again, but the pressure just a little bit too much. They'll lose that mid lane tier 2, but we'll see the Baron buff expire, and we will go back to a neutral game state here for at least the next 3 minutes or so, until both Baron and the Infernal Drake will be spawning at around the same time.
Yeah, as long as none of these teams take any greedy fights, no one gets caught out, we should be okay for now for both these teams to farm up, get what is their third items coming through. As you can see, this Nidalee, who's gotten awfully fed, and uh-oh, JBL, he's been caught out. Stingus waiting in a brush for him. Still has a rocket belt available to JBL. Ego's here. The kick is going to be available. JBL's gone golden. Ego kick away. But look how strong that Jax is with that Trinity Force and Bork. He took no damage and was fully ready to take that 2v1.
Oh, he absolutely would have taken that 2v1 if he didn't get kicked away. It's absolutely no issue for him. Has plenty of lifesteal and sustain and damage coming in with just 2 items. He's working on the third. Again, it's only going to get worse. There is no one, I repeat, no one on the side of Lotus who can deal with him in a side lane. It will take a full coordinated team effort, and the Galio can still come in on top. He can try to bait them back in the Misfortunal, or they can just take objectives on other parts of the map. This split push is gonna get to a really tricky point. Wow, Ego!
What is this? Ego is going to make an Ego play, and he flashes away, but he's just dead. And with jungler down, there's no objectives on the board, at least in the immediate future, but I'm not sure what Ego is thinking. There's gotta be a member there waiting for him, so he loses his life. Not too big of a problem, but yeah, that was a little bit of an interesting play, to say the least.
Yeah, yes. Emphasis on the first part of that word, I think, as we all know. It happens to the best of us sometimes. Playing Lee Sin, you want to be aggressive, gets a little bit over enthusiastic there, and tries to go in on top of a 3-1-11 Galio with 3 items. But you know, those can work sometimes, just not on this occasion.
And not on this occasion, and probably not on any occasion if you're taking a 1v1 at this point in the game as Lee Sin against Galio in the enemy jungle. But regardless, game state now, the field of play, if you will, is 5k gold lead to VBO. That is substantial, but it's not game ending. It's not insurmountable. A good team fight or good execution from Lotus, or a fumble even from VBO, could turn this game around in a heartbeat. 30 seconds on this dragon, it would be sole point for either of these teams. But Crooked Serpent may just be caught out, has the orange for the taunt, he uses it immediately. Justice Punch is there, good flash away from Serpent to make sure he gets away, sidesteps the spear as well. And now Lotus are looking to respond. Rocket grab over the wall, won't find anyone. Taunt now onto Kiwi, uses that speed to get himself away. Ego being more patient this time. Everyone is going to be here. Prophet, Justice Punch, gets interrupted by the wall. Immediately over the wall goes this encore. Kiwi is shut down immediately. This Blitzcrank is no longer the fight. JBL is by himself, and all of VBO are surrounding him. They've left him to die. JBL was all alone with the destiny. And with that, it is Soul Point almost certainly going to go the way of VBO, and they may look for more as well. They're going to keep going here, TJ. They're going to find Crooked Serpent. He has no flash. He used it before. Jimmy will get the kill onto the gangplank, and what else can they find? They'll find the dragon, and they're going to push to the waves, and they're going to push for the base.
They're gonna go. They can go straight to Baron. They can go for inhibs here. They're chasing down Ego. I don't know if he can get away.
What is Lotus doing? They're all over the place. Ego has no flash, and he's dead to rights. He doesn't get away this time. Jimmy has found another, and with Stingus here in a solo lane, you can see Alistair. He knows there's nothing he can do about this Jax split push. They'll take an inhibitor, and you can see on your minimap, they are on the Baron.
And I gotta say, we've talked about Stingus all game and how big of an impact he is and has had. But we gotta talk a little bit about Prophet. This man is frontlining every fight, walking straight into the face of the enemy team like he owns the place. And can you say debated to set up that last team fight? He face plants into the wall, gets stunned up, hooked by the Blitzcrank, goes straight into the stopwatch, and there's the whole bot lane dumping their ultimates on top of him, sets up for an early pick. They chase down multiple extra kills. It rewards them with 2 major objectives. They sit with their second Baron and Soul Point here. What an opportunity to close this out. They are in full control of this one.
In VBO, this is now your game to win. A couple mistakes from Lotus, and it could cost them everything. It could cost them their lead in this league. They started off excellently earlier in the night with a clean 2-0, but maybe looking at a 1-1 in this set of games, is with now a gold lead that is ballooned to just over 8,000. It is so rough for Lotus to find a way back into this one. You've got a 6-3 Misfortune with 1,000 gold on her head. You have Jimmy, who's got a lot of gold on this Kruger as well. So too much here to deal with, and with Baron in hand, VBO apply way too much pressure. They're gonna choke out Lotus.
They're gonna try to choke it out here, moving down the top lane. You can see the Jax applying the split push pressure in the bottom lane. Gangplank not even gonna bother sticking around bottom lane. He knows he cannot answer this, gonna give up that first turret. He'll now rotate back to try to clear the wave, but how did it not hit?
That hook was so close. Maybe that pick provides them a little bit of relief, but it's a game of inches, and when you give VBO an inch, they will take a mile, and they're gonna take the base here. As look at this, it does no damage to this Jax. Flash forward, hook onto the tower. Maybe they found the pick on the Prophet. He goes golden. He's going to avoid a little bit of tower damage for now. It's a gold card in hand. Encore finds a few low health bars in the side of Lotus, but they found a pick, but they're losing their base. 2 inhibs down. Third one going to go down to Stingus. I have not seen a team ever in my time casting come back from a triple him.
Stammer
But if
took
you
around
believe
there.
in miracles, you've got to be a Lotus fan now. VBO, hook doesn't connect. They're looking to take this one to 1-1, and Jimmy, an annihilation of Kiwi. He was so good in game 1, couldn't find the impact in game 2. Cannon Barrage is here to clear out the weed. Ego goes forward with that resonating strike. Safeguard, back to the fountain, back to the base they go. But with all these Baron-empowered minions, DJ, I just don't think they can hold on. It's a Zanya's from Singus that keeps him safe. He goes into the stasis. A lot of damage has found its way on to Walnut. Flash forward from Stingus, but he has to get himself right back away. Flash forward from JVL with a gold card. It's a heal from Git. Listair flies in. It's 1,000 gold onto the backs of Crooked Serpent. They found Stingus. Maybe, just maybe, Lotus can hold on.
Just maybe they can. They mount a miraculous base defense here, getting it all right, picking off member after member after Prophet goes a little bit too far in without the front line. Way more open to hooks and picks are the side of VBO. They've done it for now, but again, this is still going to be incredibly difficult for Lotus to come back. They still trail by 8k gold. You can see their jungler with the healing item almost getting soloed out here by the Nidalee. They have managed to stay alive, and that's all you can try to do if you are Lotus. Set yourself up for potentially a Dragon Soul steal and just stay alive long enough to maybe get a pick here and there, maybe find a way back. Still cannot stress enough how much of a maybe it is.
Emphasis on the maybe there if you didn't hear it enough, because this is a triple inhib scenario. Super's pushing in every wave and still at a 6k gold deficit. VBO certainly still in utter control and utter demand of the situation that Lotus are now in. And with Soul on the board just because of how far behind Lotus are and just because of how much pressure that is being applied to the base. If they lost the fight, they'd lose the game. They give away Infernal Soul.
Yep. Ping's coming in right now from VBO about the Baron spawning in a minute 30. They're going to push into the base, see what pressure they can apply. They do have Prophet back to frontline for them as this mid inhibitor respawns.
Coming up, but they're going to take it the moment that it spawns up, and it just might end the game here. At least they're going to try. If Lotus mount another triple inhib defense, call me shocked. I'll get in goth gear with our analysts, because this would be incredible to hold on to a base with triple inhib down with Infernal Soul to the name of VBO. This looks impossible. Golden goes Walnut to avoid the gold card, but it doesn't matter. Singus is here. The TP in from Prophet is going to join the squad. E goes low. It's an encore that finds Trees. Excellent engage. This has got to be the game-ending fight. Bullet time, baby! And they find everyone. It's a 4-man ult. And a triple kill negates. He loses his life for it, but it doesn't matter. VBO get revenge for game number 1, and they'll hold the crown for now.
And Lotus will have to wait for their full revenge. A much better showing here from VBO in game number 2, starting off in the draft. Not drafting Season 2 champions, not setting themselves up on the back foot from the beginning. They have a very nice team comp. They pick a great R5 pick in that Jax. There's no one to answer him if he gets strong enough. He did get strong enough, and some beautiful play from the likes of Prophet, from the likes of Stingus, and from the whole team here in game number 2 earns them a 1-1 draw in the series with Lotus.
And I got to agree with you. It is clean play from VBO. A couple mistakes from Lotus, Ego maybe going for a little bit of fanciness. Forget about that. You got to look how excellently VBO played this game between bot lane doing well, maybe getting a little action earlier on there they'd like with a Blitzcrank hook, but Prophet playing well, Jimmy playing out of his mind, and Stingus a king in the top lane. He only has 349 on the scoreboard, but no one could touch that Jax in a side lane. But to break down the game for this second set, we'll be back with an interview right after it. But our analysts are going to bring you the action. Doctor and Juicebox Guy, you had some beef earlier on. Maybe you guys have settled it. Please hit me with the deets.
Welcome back to the analyst desk. My name is Juicebox Guy. Joining me is Doctor. And I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. Can't win them all. But it was still a really good game. Thank you for sticking with us so far, but don't go quite yet because we do have an interview right after we sort of talk about this game for just a moment. So, in the meantime, after betting way too much on something that I should have known better on, Doctor, do you have any cliff notes from that game? What are you thinking about these two squads? They split it 1-1, and now we're sitting at this really intense rivalry where I don't know who's better, who's trolling harder. We're
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
find
still
out.
it was still 1-1, but I feel like at any moment had certain plays gone a little bit differently for Lotus, we would be looking at a 2-0. VBO obviously come out victorious, but I don't think it was clean. I do think they still have a lot to work on. Obviously, we see Jimmy with the Nidalee pick really coming through for the team, ending that series ending that game, excuse me, 10-3-7, not going the Groomstone route as well. So going for that full AP route, picking up the Zonias, the Lichbane, the Void Staff, the Sickle, whose name I can't remember offhand, and just fully kitting themselves out for damage and really applying that damage in a lot of different situations. The 9K ego pick Lee Sin, missing pings. Just what happened? Why do we go from game one Kazakhs? Yes, it was banned away, but you have to have something else, right? You can't go from a
Yeah.
meta pick to Lee Sin. It just there's a disconnect.
Honestly, I really feel like the two players switched computers. You know, like
Yeah,
they completely switched roles. Like in the first game, I think it was Jimmy who you were just confused. You were trying to reason with his decision making, and it just never you couldn't quite connect those dots. Go into game two, and now it's ego, and you're thinking, what happened in game one? Okay, well now both junglers are kind of messing. Well, okay, no, look over at Jimmy. Now he's popping off and he looks like a madman. So I don't
yeah.
know. Honestly,
Must be something
maybe
about
it
Red Side.
yeah, they see red, the blood in their eyes, and they start really turning it online. I couldn't tell you, but well, talking about another player who completely flipped the script is Prophet in that mid lane. Game one, on the Aurelion Soul, I thought he did fine. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't. You were. It wasn't like a "what are you doing" performance. It was just kind of
Yeah.
whatever. Coming to and this dude was popping off on that Galio, looked incredible. And honestly, I might give him, at least for game two, the MVP on his capitalization on everybody else's plays. It was so well played, in my opinion.
Maybe I'm just a negative Nancy because I'm gonna nitpick him a little bit. It did seem like Prophet wasn't quite used to the thickness of the Galio. We saw multiple times trying to get into a team fight. They were caught by the Justice Punch connecting on a wall. So just like little things like that can really show some unfamiliarity with the champ, which is maybe why they were a little hesitant to go so early in it on game one. It worked out in the end though. They got the W. Profit still looking solid as a rock, just being that consistent thing in the team that isn't feast or famine, is just there providing, comms, providing support, providing everything except snacks and a cookie for the rest of the team. And Vibio, they're looking good, but they could be better.
I totally agree. And speaking of cookies, you just had your main course of excellency entertainment. And now it's time for the cookie on top because we are going to an interview over with our casters. So go ahead, boys, take it away and introduce our guest.
Hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Caster's Desk with DJ. But he's not the star I want to talk about right now. It's Jimmy in the jungle. What a performance in game number 2 at least. I mean, turning that set around, it was phenomenal play on the Nidalee. I'll let DJ have the first question again. I mean, he deserves it after the big brain analysis in game one.
Well, thank you, Netcroc. So, Jimmy, a big turnaround from game one to game two. Talk me through kind of what was going on in your heads for draft and kind of how that played out in game one and how you changed that up to, have an improvement in game number two.
Yeah, game one, we kind of were looking towards the Warwick in general just because it was so good into like all the champs he played. Like even Warwick into Kha'Zix is like usually pretty good if Kha'Zix doesn't get ahead, but that just didn't happen. And from there, he kind of just took over the game. And then the next game, we were just like, hey, let's look into a more carry pick where I can have more impact on the map.
Okay, I like it. And I mean, I think carry's a great word, Jimmy. You certainly performed in the Nidalee. I'm not sure of your exact KDA, but I know it was phenomenal in game two. I'm curious about your itemization, though. We were looking for maybe some more healing-oriented stuff, or was it really that you just wanted to carry the game, get the APN, do the damage, one-shot squishies?
Yeah, I've seen the Moonstaff build, and I've heard all the hype around it. I've watched the videos, and like I understand that it's probably good. But honestly, I'm just looking to one-shot people when I'm playing Nidalee. Like I'm trying to just walk around the map and lurking for kills, essentially.
I think that's probably the right mentality to have on the Nidalee, and it pays off here in game number two. Talk to me. This was the finals matchup from last year. You guys took this one off of Lotus. We'd heard from them that they wanted to come and get revenge on you. Was that extra motivation to come back in game two, or are you guys just trying to get your feet wet in season two and just kind of get used to the new champs, new items, season 11 stuff?
Yeah, we were definitely motivated a little bit, especially the Lotus game. Because we felt like we had both of our hard matchups, like the first week, like between Glaive and Lotus. So, even going 1-1 in both of those isn't that bad for us. And we played bad in pretty much every game except the first one we played, and that's because the other team didn't get bans. So we kind of got bailed out on that aspect.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. I wasn't able to watch your first set, but I'm certainly going to go back and watch it and keep an eye on you, Jimmy, in the jungle. It'll always be my job here to ask, looking towards the future. And I'm curious your thoughts, especially coming out with the Nidalee. Is there anything you guys plan on doing in the future? Going into the next weeks, you have easier matchups. Are you looking to keep the same play style? Or are you guys looking to change things up? What does it look like for you guys as you head into week 2 and beyond?
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to just fix our internets first and foremost, because as you guys see, I think like all three of us DC'd at one point between me, top, and mid. So that's probably the number one thing. And then other than that, we're probably just gonna keep a high jungle tempo and hopefully expand our mids champ pool, because it kind of hurts us sometimes.
Yeah, gotta confirm. I imagine Prophet DC'd in game one when he went down under turret. Or
He just thought of the turret and got Gallia charged. Yeah, that was tough. Also, in the second game, he actually built Night Harvester, which was a complete accident. He wanted to go, Proto Belt, so it ended up working out. So we'll take it.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. Aurelion Sol is a champion I haven't seen in a while, so you got to give my hat tip there to Prophet for whipping that one out, even though it didn't find the greatest of outcomes. But thank you so much, Jimmy, for joining us again. An excellent performance on the night, and I wish you the best of luck as you head into the rest of your season. Have a great night, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And with that, it just about wraps things up for us here at Excellency Esports. I hope you enjoyed the entire evening from the pregame all the way to the end interviews. Again, thank you all for coming out. A special thank you to our Patreon supporters who help us keep doing what we're doing and creating content. If you're interested in supporting, consider subbing on patreon.com/XLNC. That is the letters XLNC. If you are a sub, join us on Discord for the post show where we break down our thoughts on the games, the production, and discuss what we're looking at next week. And again, I appreciate you all for joining our stream. Drop a follow if you like the content. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good night.
Buckle in, kids. 'Cause now the carnival of pain has arrived to decapitate our doom.
Excellency production, y'all.